I'm Jamie and I work at SAP and Pioneer in the lending team. We cover everything from retail lending all the way through to the most complex corporate syndicated space as well. At SAP Pioneer, we cover everything banking, insurance and finance, and we really work with our customers to be able to deliver the best quality solutions in the market. For us, our ability to be able to co-innovate and work with our customers to help them scale at speed really sets us apart from the competition. So if we start with the end customer, the borrower first perhaps, what they're really looking for now is a digital first experience. So they want access to funding faster and at a very competitive rate. What that means for our lenders is that they need access to real-time information. They want to be able to make these decisions across the full spectrum of a credit analysis, whether that be financials, ownership, facility structuring, collateral allocation. They need access to this real-time information as much as possible to make their decisions in completeness. At SAP Pioneer, our lending stack is completely end-to-end. We can take those deals through from origination, right through to the loan servicing and the finance in the background. And for us, it's all about that real-time data. So all of the colleagues within that process, whether that be your relationship management team, your underwriting team, all have access to the same information. And that means they can build together that picture and build together a deal and lend with the best information possible at the time. With our open technology, our customers can really leverage all of the data they need, whether that's from an internal source, external source. They can bring that together with the maximum amount of relevant information they have. And particularly now in the current economic climate, which is challenging, really one of our solutions built around that, our credit workplace, can help our lenders to manage those new and existing exposures. So that means areas such as managing your covenants, and your KPI monitoring ongoing, making sure your borrowers are still stable and managing their obligations, but also as well forecasting and looking at future stress tests potentially around areas that might challenge them in the future and how that will affect our borrowers' ability to maintain their obligations. With the live lending data available, time-sensitive decisions such as non-performing loan restructuring can be made in full with the full picture at hand, giving our lenders the maximum confidence to do this. And really at SAP Pioneer, our lending stack is all about delivering that single source of truth, giving all of the colleagues the same information and bringing them to being able to use that in the best way possible to deliver a lending experience for their customers that is market leading. This is absolutely critical to the banks and the customers we work with. For them, this is helping overcome many of their operational challenges, such as data transparency and all of the challenges around that as well. This is absolutely key to some of our customers and our banks that we work with. It really helps them overcome some of their operational risks and the challenges associated with that, particularly around disparate data sources and where that data transparency is really coming from. At SAP Pioneer, we're delighted to work with our new and our existing customers, really help them grow their ambitions, achieve their strategic goals, and work through any transformation projects they might be taking on in the next few years. Of course, at the moment, AI is one of the hottest topics. Everyone's talking about it, and for the bank's customers, really the experience is going to be about making that time faster to funding, and again, in the most seamless way possible. Most lending processes at the moment still rely on that very historical data, and perhaps doesn't take into account other areas of data that could help build up a lending profile. And for example, that leaves a lot of markets underserved, a lot of areas where the data perhaps isn't available. Customers are being left behind. So for the banks, being able to leverage AI, perhaps that can bring some of these data sources together and help them to build that credit picture and being able to serve those markets that have been traditionally underfunded. If we take an example, perhaps in the corporate lending world, banks could potentially look at areas where they have data before and they haven't been able to use it. For example, if you're lending for a new development product finance, you might be able to take some forecasts you've had for similar deals before and actually leverage that and say, yes, these do make sense, or yes, stress test against these forecasts, they seem appropriate, we can work with those and perhaps stress test them as you need, but potentially also using things like agentic AI to suggest appropriate covenants or monitoring suggestions. That could really help in the workflow for the colleagues in the bank. And for a lender, this is all about using the most available information that you have and in the most reliable way possible to come to that ultimate lending decision, hopefully with the help of technologies such as AI. In the next few years, lending as a service is going to continue to grow. This is going to be a huge area for customers and banks alike. allowing them for software vendors, for example, to be able to white label their software and provide much more competitive rates for the customers and a much faster experience. For new players and potentially new banks in the area as well, this is going to allow them to grow and scale at speed and really bring in a much more competitive market, which ultimately is only going to be better for the end customer in the long run. For new banks and new players in the market, having the ability to be able to white label a platform and grow and scale at speed is ultimately much better for the end customer in the long run and will lead to a much more competitive market as well.